Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, and today we are ranking the top 10 shortstops in Major League Baseball heading into 2025. Getting our list started here at number 10, I'm going with Ezequiel Tovar of the Colorado Rockies. In 2024, Tovar had a breakout year, hitting .269 with 26 home runs, 6 stolen bases, and a .764 OPS. Tovar's home ballpark is, of course, Coors Field in Colorado, one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks in all of baseball. At home, Tovar hit .277 with a .305 on-base percentage and a .468 slugging. On the road, he hit .261 with a .284 on-base and a .470 slugging. And both home and road, he hit 13 home runs. A very surprisingly incredible even split home and road for Tovar. Tovar's Savant page is definitely not the prettiest to look at. I feel like there's a lot of skepticism in the advanced numbers here that his 2024 campaign was not sustainable. My main concern here for Tovar is the K percentage and the walk percentage. Having a 29% K percentage and a 3.3% walk percentage is not a very good recipe for success. But I also feel like Tovar has found a way to maximize his skill set. While I know the home and road splits were pretty even, going forward, I think Coors Field can kind of make up for some of these shortcomings in his batting profile. Tovar is also one of the best defensive shortstops in the league. He's a great base runner. I feel like with Coors Field, with his great defense, number 10 is a really nice safe floor for Ezequiel Tovar. At number 9, I'm going with Willy Adames, the brand new San Francisco Giant. In 2024, Adames had an awesome contract year, hitting .251 with 32 home runs, 21 stolen bases, and a .793 OPS. I do believe Adames is a very solid player. Number 9 might not be fair for his talent level, but there's a lot of things about Adames' profile that concern me. We are just 1 year removed from 2023 where Adames hit .217 with a .717 OPS. Now that is more of an outlier to the rest of his career, but having a batting average that can fluctuate that much really scares me. This is a guy with a 25% K rate. He's going to a very tough park in San Francisco where I just feel like projecting Adames forward is very difficult. I think 20 home runs will definitely be there, but I'm not sure if he'll see the 30-plus number again. Adames had 21 stolen bases in 2024. That was a big number for him. He has 51 career stolen bases, and 21 of them came in 2024. Because that 21 is such an outlier, I'm not sure if that's a sustainable part of his game, but I feel like if Adames keeps the speed going there, he's a good base runner that could really elevate his play in San Francisco. Overall, Adames is a very solid player. I'm just not sure if we'll ever see him reach those 2024 contract numbers that he had in Milwaukee ever again. At number 8, I'm going with Bo Bichette of the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's start off by saying that Bo Bichette had a terrible 2024 season, but the hate for this player is far overblown at this point. In 2024, Bichette only played in 81 games, hitting .225 with 4 home runs, 5 stolen bases, and a .599 OPS. Like I said, absolutely terrible year from Bichette, but every year prior of his career, from 2019 to 2023, he hit over .290, 3 times hitting over .300. This is a career .290 hitter with a .798 OPS, including that awful 2024 campaign. I think at this point, Bichette has earned us to look the other way for this terrible season. If it happens again, sure, we'll knock Bo off this list and we'll say he's a bust, whatever you want to call him. But right now, I look at this player as a 26-year-old, really above average player entering a contract year in Toronto. I think he's absolutely going to go off. Bichette's usual shortcomings does come with the glove. He's not the best defensive shortstop. I think most talent evaluators expect him to move off a shortstop, probably go to second base in the not-too-distant future. Speed is also not really a part of Bichette's game anymore. He ran more early in his career. In the last few years, looking at 13 stolen bases, 5 stolen bases. It's not really that high of a number anymore, but I think his bat is so legit. Like I said, I'm looking right past his .225 batting average. I think Bo Bichette's going to be great in 25. I'm really excited about this player bouncing back. At number 7, I'm going with Carlos Correa of the Minnesota Twins. Correa, like Bichette, missed a lot of time in 2024, only playing in 86 games, but his 86 games were great. In 2024, Correa hit .310 with 14 home runs and a .905 OPS. Correa has historically had a hard time staying on the field, but I think it's a tad overblown. The last 3 years prior to 2024, he played in 135 games or more. I have Correa at number 7, but this is a guy that if he can put 150 games together, could easily be in the top 3, top 4 at this position. This is a guy who has such elite skills, hits the ball so hard, is so smart up there at the plate, knows what he's doing in the batter's box. Really great fielder too. Correa has all the tools in the world to be an MVP candidate for the Minnesota Twins. He just has to find a way to stay on the field. I think if Correa can get to around the 130 games mark where he did the last 3 years prior to 2024, you're looking at a 280 batting average, about 25 home runs, good RBI and run production, a solid OPS, a really solid player in Carlos Correa at number 7. At number 6, I'm going with Corey Seager of the Texas Rangers. Seager, just like Correa, has a very hard time historically staying on the baseball field. In 2024, Corey Seager played in 123 games, hitting .278 with 30 home runs and an .865 OPS. I look at Seager in the same light as some of the likes of Freddie Freeman, Juan Soto, some of the best pure hitters in all of baseball. Seager has definitely established himself and solidified himself as a power hitter in Texas. He's been there 3 years now. He's hit at least 30 home runs in every single season, including missing a lot of time in both 23 and 24. The average dropped off a little bit from his time in LA. He hit .297 as a Dodger, .280 as a Ranger, but the Savant page suggests that he's gotten pretty unlucky here. Definitely still should hit around .295 to .300 going forward. I am incredibly high on Corey Seager. I think he's a guy that you know exactly what he's going to do. If he's on the field, he's going to be great. But unfortunately, because of those shortcomings and staying healthy and staying available for the Rangers, I have to keep him here at number 6. At number 5, I'm going with Elly De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds. Elly is certainly a tough player to evaluate. This is a guy who I can see being number 1 next year or off this list entirely. That's why I felt like 5 was the perfect spot to place him. He's very exciting to watch, has great tools, but he's still so raw as a hitter. In 2024, Elly hit .259 with 25 home runs, 67 stolen bases, and an .810 OPS. Of course, that stolen base number jumps off the page at you. 67 stolen bases. He even slowed down a little bit. For a long time, he was pacing for around 80, but Elly probably slowed down a little bit on the base path. He got caught a decent amount of times on the stretch as well, but overall, a really great year from Elly. While his bat can be inconsistent at times, Elly's fielding is phenomenal. Great range, a great throwing arm, and his elite sprint speed helps him get to those balls in the hole. Now let's talk about Elly's bat. My only real concerns with this player going forward, looking at the Savant page here, hits the ball really hard, walks at a nice clip as well, but the K percentage at 31% with a 33.4% whiff rate, that's very scary for Elly going forward. Expected batting average at .240, so he overperformed his expected numbers by quite a bit. I'm just not quite sure. I think Elly really has to cut down on the K rate to take that next level and sustain a batting average above .250. The real question here is, can Elly take those next steps forward into true elite superstardom? And the answer is yes, of course he can. He's 23 years old. This is a former top prospect. This is a guy who plays half his games at Great American Ballpark as well. He has so much going for him. I'm concerned here with his height. He's 6'5". Very rare do we see a player of his stature succeed at such a high level. Of course, we've seen it with Aaron Judge most recently, but historically, it's harder for those tall players to keep those mechanics and be a true elite hitter. Overall, I'm really excited to watch De La Cruz's career unfold. I feel like he has some of the most potential we've seen in all of baseball, but he just has to get that K percentage down, has to get the whiff percentage down, and I believe he will as time goes on, as he gets more comfortable. I can see Elly taking those next steps forward and getting more toward number 3, number 2, number 1 on this list, as opposed to going backwards and falling off this list entirely. At number 4, I'm going with Mookie Betts of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I want to start off by saying here that Mookie Betts is a phenomenal elite talent, but he is not a shortstop. The Dodgers plan to play him at shortstop again here in 25, like they tried in 24. I don't really know why. I feel like you just put him at second base and you forget about it. He'll be fine at second. Even right field, he's great. One of the best defensive right fielders we've ever seen. But for some reason, they're just fixated on playing Mookie Betts at shortstop. Watching Mookie Betts play shortstop last year in the limited time that he did, just watching, just the naked, untrained eye, it did not look like he had the arm strength or the range to play that position. I think this experiment is going to fail again for the Dodgers. They're going to slide Mookie Betts over to second base, but for right now, they're calling him their starting shortstop. In 2024, Mookie Betts hit .289 with 19 home runs, 16 stolen bases, and an .863 OPS. Betts did miss about 46 games with a fractured hand, but still put up his very elite numbers. I look at Mookie Betts as one of the safest players in all of baseball. In his 11-year career, he's a .294 career batting average with a career OPS of .897. And just look at his current team with the Dodgers. Mookie Betts has Shohei Ohtani in front of him, Freddie Freeman and Teoscar Hernandez behind him. He's going to roll out of bed and score 120 runs, probably drive in 100 as well. Mookie Betts is truly elite. I think what's holding him back on this list here is I just don't view him as a shortstop, but at number 4, I'm very comfortable putting Mookie Betts. At number 3, I'm going with Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets. It really did hurt me putting Lindor at 3 here. I want to get him higher, but this position is just so stacked right now. In 2024, Lindor was the MVP runner-up to Shohei Ohtani, hitting .273 with 33 home runs, 29 stolen bases, and an .844 OPS. Lindor has just been so solid and so dependent for the Mets. This is a guy who plays an elite defensive shortstop position. He switch hits, he bats leadoff every single day. The big X factor for me going into this year, Francisco Lindor now has Juan Soto, another MVP candidate, hitting behind him. I think Lindor's going to see a lot more pitches to hit. I see his offensive numbers going all the way up, especially in the run-score department. I'm really excited what 25 has in store for Lindor. Lindor's Savant page even suggests that he got a little bit unlucky in 2024, only hitting .273 with a .283 xBA. Like I said, he had an absolutely phenomenal 24 season, came in second in MVP. If it was not for Shohei Ohtani being Shohei Ohtani, he would have won MVP. At number 2, I'm going with Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles. Henderson broke out in a big way in 2024, hitting .281 with 37 home runs, 21 stolen bases with an .893 OPS. Gunnar Henderson has been highly touted for years. This is a guy who was a former #1 prospect in all of baseball. He put it all together in 2024, just 23 years old, having an absolutely insane season. Everything in Henderson's Savant page backs it up too. A .283 xBA, a .492 xSlug, great average exit velocity, good barrel rate, hard hit percentages off the charts, great bat speed. Everything Gunnar does, he does well, with the exception of defense possibly, but he's still so young, could get better. Might even move off a shortstop at some point and go to third base, but right now, Gunnar is just an elite shortstop, absolutely amazing talent. I even look at that sprint speed there in the 88th percentile and think he could probably run more. Only 21 stolen bases. Of course, with 37 home runs, might have not had so many opportunities to steal, but could easily see this guy being 30-30 next year. My only very slight concern here with Henderson is I think the Orioles got a little bit worse going into this year. They, of course, lost Anthony Santander to the Toronto Blue Jays. Adley's in kind of a weird place right now where we're not sure how good he is, so Gunnar might be one of the only guys that pitchers fear in this lineup. For that reason, he might not see too many pitches. He might have to chase a little bit out of the strike zone to try to get his if he gets frustrated. But like I said, elite talent, 23 years old. Not overly worried about that, just something in the back of my head. Really happy with Gunnar at the number 2 position. And at number 1, we're going with Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals. The offensive strides that Witt has made in his very short career have been absolutely remarkable to watch. Just look at this 3-year career that Witt has put together so far. In 2022, he came up as a rookie, hit .254 with a .722 OPS. Next year, .276 with an .814 OPS. Then in 2024, Bobby Witt Jr. hit .332 with 32 home runs, 31 stolen bases, and a .977 OPS. Absolutely incredible. Looking at those numbers and seeing he did not win MVP is truly heartbreaking, but of course, Aaron Judge does exist. He had better numbers, but absolutely insane that this slash line does not win you an MVP award. The really exciting part for me here is Witt is showing this power this young in a really tough ballpark in Kauffman. As he gets older, as his body gets stronger, this is a guy who could flirt with 40 home runs. Just so exciting to watch this young superstar perform. It feels like he could be the #1 player in all of baseball going forward for an extended period of time. Bobby Witt is just a superstar at the end of the day. This is a guy who I feel like we are so fortunate to be able to watch his career unfold. Just 24 years old. Like I said, it's really unfortunate that he lost out on an MVP award to Judge, but he should get plenty more opportunities to win MVPs in the future. I'm very excited about Bobby Witt. I feel like number 1 is his true place at the shortstop position. And that is our list. Shortstop was definitely the hardest position so far. So much elite talent at this position. Even a few guys who I had a hard time leaving off this list, but I had to because we only do the top 10. Overall, I had a lot of fun. This position is in such great hands with Gunnar Henderson, with Bobby Witt Jr. being 23 and 24 at the 1 and 2 spots here. I'm super excited. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.